Hi, my name is Boston John, and I'm an alcoholic. And today I wanted to discuss with you the topic of sponsorship. And anything I say in this video is just my opinion on my experience in Alcoholics Anonymous. So, sponsorship is a common theme. It's mentioned a lot in Alcoholics Anonymous. Typically, the role of a sponsor would be to help another person through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous or whatever the 12-step program is you're attending. The question is, as a person new into the program or a person that feels they're ready to be sponsored, who do you pick? Who do you pick? How do I know I'm picking the right person? How do I know this person can help me? How do I know they're qualified? So it can be difficult early on because, like me, I just landed in AA, and all of a sudden, sitting in meetings surrounded by people, just openly sharing, and you just take it in. And you hear different topics come up, you hear the mention of sponsors and sponsees. It can be a little overwhelming. And a lot of times, the newcomer can feel pressed or compelled to get a sponsor early on. Whether or not that's a good idea is to be determined. You could get very fortunate and pick someone that's very helpful to you, or you could make a decision where if you waited a month longer, you may have picked someone else and perhaps somebody more qualified. The first question is, are you sponsorable? Are you ready to engage in the work? Are you familiar enough with the people in the meetings you attend? Have you started to form some opinions on who might be able to help you and who seems a good fit with you? The beauty of AA is, for the most part, you're sitting there and people are sharing their experience, so you can know exactly what went on in their life before and during AA. I think it's important also that the sponsor, when they have shared openly in meetings or have shared with you directly in conversations, that they've talked about the work in AA. And when I say the work, the step work, the literature, and the results of that work. I was fooled early on in AA by the people that shared a lot. I found, as I stayed, that oftentimes the people that said the least in meetings or weren't throwing their hands up in the air and always sharing, those people turned out to be a little more fundamentally sound, a little more grounded, and when they shared, though not as often, there was a little more substance to it, and it made a little more sense, and they weren't necessarily churning out the AA phrases or talking about their drinking or drug history. They weren't pumping that part of their story up. They would qualify a little bit, but they would talk more about their experience with the work and the benefits they've received from doing the work and how life has changed before and after the step work. Those kind of people, to me, seem a little more qualified. Maybe I should use that word, a little more qualified. They seem, I don't know how I don't use the word qualified. A lot of people can be friendly and easy to talk to and outgoing, and they go over and they shake your hands and they make you feel welcome. That's good, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're good sponsor material. I think good sponsors talk about the work and aren't necessarily thrusting themselves upon you and will lay back, listen to you, answer your questions, give you feedback, and not treat you like a person in desperate need of their help, if that makes sense. There's an expression I heard a long time ago in a meeting, and it really meant a lot to me. The person talked about a newcomer coming into the room, This particular person came in for a sip of water, but they hit him with the fire hose. Meaning, sometimes when a newcomer comes in, and I felt I was this type of person, I didn't want to be flooded by people trying to help me. I didn't want to be pitched. I just wanted to sit there and be left alone for a while and see what this is all about. And it took me a while to ask someone for help with the step work. And I didn't do it until I felt I was sponsorable. I attended a lot of book studies and 12 and 12 studies, and I got familiar with the literature. I asked questions of different people in the meetings, and eventually I formed a relationship with somebody that I attended meetings with that I felt had a good sense of who I was. I felt he had done the work, told me examples of how AA was helping him in his life, gave me examples of 9-step amends he had made, talked about turning his life and will over to the care of God. All these things really made me feel like this guy could help me. This guy had done the work. That was a big motivator or big impact on me asking this person for help. That's my experience with sponsorship in AA. Basically, I had to be sponsorable. I had to find someone who felt was ready to take me through the work, and someone I believed had gone through the work themselves. I wanted to do the step work with somebody who was just like me at some point, had also asked someone for help, had also sat down with another person and done a 5th step, had done the other steps, financial amends, 10 steps. So that was important to me. And that made all the difference into who I chose. And I think these are factors that should be considered for good long-term sponsorship and to be able to get the help you're looking for. Anyway, thank you. Have a good day.